Sahar Aziz. She's a professor of law at Rutgers University. Welcome to the programme. Just very quickly, your reaction to the violence we're seeing against Palestinians, violence that is being filmed and shared on social media for the world to see.
So in many ways, what we're seeing right now is nothing new. It's what seems to happen every 4 to 5 years, as what many on the right in Israel called giving Gaza a haircut, which is one of the most offensive statements that refers to the regular onslaught of violence against Gaza in particular by Israelis, where entire buildings are blown up. And there's no regard for civilians, no regard for children and the lives of Palestinians. And the Israeli government just flippantly accuses everyone who lives in Gaza who is murdered by their rockets and by their military weapons as terrorists. And what we're seeing now is the truth is coming out through citizen journalism. This was similar to what we saw in the Arab Spring insofar as the dictators, the Middle East dictators, could no longer hide what was really happening. And they were claiming that it was a revolt, that it was riots. And now what we're seeing with Israel claiming that everyone is a terrorist is that you have Palestinians on the ground with iPhones and with technology that are telling the world, you see for yourself. We're no longer dependent just on CNN or NBC or ABC or New York Times, many of which have censorship, many of which perpetuate the asymmetrical coverage in favor of Israel, dismissing the lives and the humanity of Palestinians. But now we have people on the ground showing us, letting us see for ourselves what's really happening. So that is contributing to a shift in the conversation, at least among the American people.
And that shift among the American people, who are they? Are they people who already had an awareness and sympathy towards the Palestinian struggle, or is it changing and getting towards the more general public?
Much of the change in opinion is coming from young people that are themselves of Muslim heritage, Muslim faith, Arab heritage, including Palestinian Americans, but also people who are white or African American or Latino, but are progressive and are part of this anti-racism movement that has been domestically focused on Black Lives Matter, on immigrant rights, on LGBTQ rights. And they're realizing that what's happening in Palestine is just as atrocious as genocide against Native Americans, as Jim Crow and systemic anti-Black racism. And so their values are being confronted now where they have to make a decision, are we going to stick to our principles on this issue, and are we going to read up and learn from Palestinian voices and hear the perspectives of Palestinians, and not just the perspectives of the official state policy or state propaganda from Israel, but are we going to see other views? The other group that's shifted is young Jewish Americans who are progressive, who have been here now in America, third, fourth generation, for those whose parents may have escaped pogroms in Eastern Europe, some of whom came after World War II, but they've been here for a long time, and they themselves are seeing what Israel's doing, the right-wing extremist government of Netanyahu, and realizing that he's no better than Trump. And many of these Jewish American people were against Trump and saw him as someone who was an extremist in and of himself. So this generation, it is a younger generation combined with the access to information that social media is providing. And now the question is that going to change U.S. policy? Is that going to change the way that elected officials behave and vote? And we're already seeing the Progressive Caucus in Congress that is led by Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ayanna Pressley, all of these progressive women in particular who are saying, no, we are not going to turn a blind eye because this contradicts our values that are the foundation of our policies in the U.S.
Sahar, I have to leave it there, but I do hope it also stops the nearly $4 billion US dollars that the US government gives to Israel's military. A conversation for another time with you. Thank you so much, Sahar Aziz, Professor of Law at Rutgers University.